Hello, my name's John Price, and this is a short video on penalty doubles in bridge, and it's aimed at intermediate bridge players. So I reckon the big question we have to face is, how do you know when a double is a penalty double and not a takeout double? This really is the big question. Takeout doubles are a great way of getting into the bidding when you are the overcallers. And it's been around for a long while, since the 1920s. And most of the time that you see a double card being shown, it indicates a takeout bid. But there will be times when a penalty double is what you want and not a takeout double. The big thing is, if you did use the penalty card, the double card, how will your partner know if it's a double for penalty or a double for takeout? How about this little simple strategy? If you want to follow this, it's workable. It works like this. If my partner doubles and I haven't yet bid in the auction, apart from maybe a pass, then I assume it's for takeout. Otherwise, it's going to be for penalties. Now, you may run some more complicated strategies, such as the negative double, and this isn't going to fit into that. But it's a nice, simple strategy for intermediate players. If you haven't bid and your partner doubles, then that is for takeout. Otherwise, it's for penalties. Okay, let's have a look at a hand here. And it's a pretty fine hand. 3, 5, 12. Whoa, that's got 17 high card points and one extra for that fifth diamond, an 18-point hand. Okay, this is looking great. And what's happened with the bidding? Oh my goodness, your partner has opened with one heart. This is going to be great. You have got an 18-point hand and your partner has opened. So what are we going to do next? Whoa, wait on a minute. And now the opposition have overcalled 2 diamonds. What is going on here? We've got the vast majority of points. And yet the opponents have overcalled at the 2 level. Now, these opponents are not crazy. So North has got an opening hand and he's got 5 diamonds at least. But we've got 5 diamonds as well. Oh, well, how do we proceed from here? We've got at least 29, maybe 30 points here. We're pretty close to going for slam. Actually, if I think about it, North has overcalled at the 2 level. So they've got certainly 10 high card points. So I would say an overcall, a bit of a slam is being rather hopeful. But certainly we've got enough for a game. Now, I don't know whether you noticed it, but with this little software I'm using to pick up different bridge hands, a white bar down on the left-hand side indicates that this partnership is not vulnerable. Do you see it? So, our partnership is definitely not vulnerable. Well, that means that if we go for a game, whatever it might be, possibly no trumps is looking likely at the moment, then we're going to get 400 points if we make the contract, and maybe if we make over tricks, 430, maybe even 460 points. That's great. But I've got a different plan. I think that they are in real trouble now. And I've got a good reason why I'm going to suggest that the next bid, the bid from us, is a double. Now, will our partner think that that is a take-out double? He will not. He's already bid. So he knows that a double, when he's already bid, means it's a penalty double. So don't worry about that. Now, why would we want to go ahead and let them play in a contract and hope to make points from doubling when we've got a pretty certain we could get maybe 400, maybe up to 460 points by going for a game, probably in no trumps? Well, let's look at the scoring system. If we can put a non-vulnerable, we don't know, we can't see whether north-south are vulnerable or not. If they're not vulnerable and we put them 1 down, we earn only 100 points. But if we put them 2 down, that's 300. And if we put them 3 down, that's 500 points. That's more than we could possibly have got by going a game. If they're vulnerable, the penalties are even higher. We'd only need to put them 2 down if they were vulnerable, and we'd all earn 500 points, which is more than we would earn by going for a game. Now do you see that this is a good strategy? But what guides us to doing a penalty double? How about this? Firstly, you need to be sure that you and your partnership have got the majority of the points. Well, that's certainly true in this case. Next, your hand needs to have at least 5 trumps. Diamonds are the doubled contract, and you've got 5 of them. Then what you do is you add the number of trumps that you've got, in our case 5, to the number of honors you've got in that trump suit. That's 3. That comes to 8. So there's a good chance, following these guidelines, that we get 8 tricks. Now we only need to get 6 tricks to put them down, and that would be 1 down. If we got 8 tricks, they would go 3 down. And that is, even if they're not vulnerable, 500 points. It's 800 if they're vulnerable. And both those numbers is well better than the points that we could have got by going a game. So that's why in doubling in this case with a penalty double is much better than going ahead and ignoring that bid and going for a game. Just out of interest, this is probably more likely to happen that it was North that had the opening bid, and they bid 1 diamond. What are you going to do now? Well, if you doubled now, you're saying to partner that you've got a shortage in diamonds and you can support all 3 other suits. I don't think so, really. Maybe your only outcome could be to bid 1 no trump. Yes, I know it isn't a no trump hand. You've got 2 doubletons, but at least you do have 2 good clubs, and well, it's a difficult one, and I wouldn't want to like to argue in either case. Let's look at one other example. Okay, oh gosh, it's certainly not as good as the previous one, but there are 7 high card points and 2 extra for the length in hearts. It's a 9-point hand. Let's see how the bidding progresses. Your partner bids 1 spade, and then the overcaller bids 2 hearts. Whoa, now that's interesting. Could we possibly do a penalty double here? Let's follow that strategy again. Have our partnership got the majority of points? You're just on the edge here, but probably we've got 20, maybe 21 points between us. It's a close run thing. Let's just say yes on that one. So the next thing is, have we got 4 trumps? Yes, we've got 6 of them. Okay. So now what do? We add the number of trumps that we've got, 6, to the number of honors, that's 1. So that's 7. So there's a good chance that we should get 7 tricks. We only need to get 6 to put them down. And in this case, we're sort of being predicted that we can get 7 tricks, and that would be 2 down. Now let's put that next to the possibility of maybe we're missing out on a good contract here. Well, our partners bid spades. Oh dear, we've only got 2 of them. The opposition have bid hearts, so we're certainly not going to get anything there. And my diamonds and clubs are pretty horrible. I think the best strategy here is to do a double and hope that we can put them down. If we put them 2 down, even if they're not vulnerable, we'll get 300 points, and that'll be a lot more than any part score that we might have gone for. Okay, in summary, go for this rough guide about whether you should do a penalty double or not. Firstly, your partnership should have the majority of the points. On that last hand, we were really sort of being a little bit dodgy there, but we went for it. You must have at least 4 trumps. And then what you do is you add the number of trumps you've got to the number of trump honors, and that will give you an idea about how many tricks you'll need. And if it's at least the number of tricks you need to put them down, then do a double. But make sure your partner knows that it's a penalty double. I hope that's been useful.